Okay, folks, you're back. Sorry, a little problem with the connections. Yeah, welcome and welcome back, folks. I was talking about the Akali. It says I didn't make this model. This is a free model, rigged model of Akali. I think directly from the game, like League of Legends, maybe. Not sure, but it says the rigger is from that game indeed. So. Or at least Riot, right? So here's the first animation that I've made, a shot. You see there are some annotations here from some folks in Agora community, which is a Discord server for animation in general. And a lot of animators and riggers there is very into other artists too, but in not just 3D, also 2D. I think lots of any kind, right? But most likely more 3D and 2D. And so I've asked some feedback, although I am an animator like for 20 years now, or at least I consider myself as an animator for that long, although I didn't work in the animation field, unfortunately, for all that time. So I'm not like and I focus on 2D traditional animation. So, of course, I have this background, I've studied books, I've practiced a lot, but work in the industry, it's different, right? So you get more stuff, right? More cards to play, right? Secrets of the trade, right? So here is the fixes that they suggested. I'd say some are kind of dummy, but it's okay. We'll accept everything. I think for me it's important to understand what they really mean. So this feedback is very simple. Described. Maybe I should ask this Roman guy here or girl, I don't know. But yeah, it's very. I'm glad to have this feedback. Is for free. You get these guys probably have some industry experience, and this is 3D animation, so it's kind of new to me. But the animation concept is not new to me. So I think here for the one of first feedback is okay. Animate on 220 FPS. Okay, this is kind of stupid because I've asked them to that I was doing some things stylized, but okay, I understand their concept, so not gonna mock anyone. It's just that there's a bit stupid part in this thing, but respectfully, I'm doing this 24 FPS now. I've switched here, right? So no more stylized. I'm gonna see because it's training, right? I understand what they mean. They want you to go professionally, and so I think that they have a point. That unfortunately I have to try to figure out what they mean. So this is why it's a bit annoying. But yeah. So here okay. So here it was 15. I didn't even know what it was a custom, right? I've made at 15 FPS. It was very arbitrary, but when you're doing artistic animation, like you can do whatever you want, provided it is working for what you mean, right? So okay, we've made this first retake. Of course, there are retakes that I will do on my own, anyways. After I've made this animation shot like in one day, not one day, just a few hours. So it was very fast. Then I tried to animate the camera and make little fix another day, and then here no camera, right? And let's play this at once. So this is the low 15 FPS. So you see, it's literally slow motion because I really wanted to have this idea. Also, it was for the camera as it rotated around the character, especially in the jump. So there was a purpose in the 15 FPS. They were just rude and not consider that, but I understand they are trying to make people professional, so they don't really care about artistic animation, I guess. But it doesn't care. Let's make the 24 FPS. And now the other feedback here is this fix broken knee. Okay, so this thing is very interesting because you see here is their fixes like suggestion, like that the knee should be like this, the leg. But I don't really agree with that because my purpose on doing the broken knee or a knee that is like that, although what I really don't like here is the broken feet, right? Foot. But the broken ankle actually. But I think they saw it and they didn't understand my intention, so they just you see, there's no big communication here. It's so they had their own limitations in relation to me in the communication. So I understand what they mean. So they suggest this, but I think this poses will be very ugly in this angle in terms of keyframing. So this is why as an animator, I wanted something like that. But so I'll try to fix and I'll try to make something different here, so to conform to this idea of the not making the knee broke so much and not making the ankle so much broken, right? So, but I'm not sure I'm gonna want this pose here, at least not in this angle. But since I'm remaking this animation, maybe for also, yeah, for work on other angles, so maybe you can cheat something here. So I'll try to make the knee break less as they want, and also fix the ankle and try to do something. But most likely I'm getting this suggestion. I think it's important, but maybe not exactly the way they also look. The arms are very traditional jump impression, so very conventional that a stick figure would do. Yeah, I do totally like this, but there are other ways to do the contractions of the body, right? So I think this will be work, right? But it will be too basic for me, right? I can't do that. It will be too. If the pose was different, though, yeah, if the pose was different, something more frontal, then I think I would totally go for that. But in this case, so I'll try to fix this in a different way. So you see, it's hard to agree with everything, but they are right, essentially. It's just that there's another part of the answers, which is the artistic part. So here I think they mean some stretch of the body, and I think this is incorrect. I'm stretching it now, so I was having a hard time with fixing the stretchings here with the tweaks. And so I think here what they want is some... What they want here, I believe, is some... this part I didn't really understand. I think they are trying to map the motion of the part of the body to track... How do you move this up? I'm having some trouble with the... Oh, it's right click. Okay, hold the right click. Okay, so I think they were trying to map something that I couldn't do properly. I didn't do properly, and so this is very helpful that they made this. It remembered me also that, okay, let's make some improvements in this arc of motion for the torso bones. There are many bones there. It's yeah, my animation is a complete mess. So here I think this one of their best indication. Yeah, although I'm not sure what they mean here, right? Because it's not frame by frame, but I believe they are trying to map the motion and see. So you see, here is probably more stretch here. Get the head go right there, right? Yeah, good idea. Maybe, yeah, extend the head. Yeah, right. And then, yeah, so something good to think. Yeah, so very good here. I think this feedback very good. So then finally we have this part, which the character is very broken here, actually. But since I didn't send them a 3D visual and just the 2D here, of course they can't see everything that was broken. So what they here, a very interesting thing that I didn't complete this because I was lazy, but essentially they want now this very important. I think they Roman did a good thing, like here, very good to remember me. Okay, get this overshoot thing. Overshoot is like, I had to always revise what that means because it was not part of my vocabulary. Basically, it's the relaxation of the extreme. So I have an extreme here of the foot, but it stays like that. It's not relaxing. So, right, see, there's a drawing here. Extreme of the foot, maybe of other parts, and then relax. So extreme, relax, extreme, relax. Yeah. Relax. You see the foot here is extreme, relax. Yeah. So overshoot, right? Overshoot is here, is the extreme. I call this extreme, right? Overshoot, make the extreme and then bring back, or maybe, yeah, I think overshoot is the extreme. So need to get familiar with that. So essentially, if I do all these fixes, of course I'll do it my way. It's me that I am fixing. They already gave them feedback, but I'm gonna use this because this sounds very accurate. It's just that I will, because I'm not a noob, I know what they mean. I think I know what they mean. If there is something that I really don't understand, then I would need totally to ask them, because right there might be always something new to me in animation that like I've watched some guy talking about you know those 12 principles of animation. I don't know how many. We have found 50 principles. There's an animator, 2D animator in some studio, like with decades of animation in the industry of 2D cartoons. You know those 12 principles? Well, you have found 50 of them. So you see that's what you get from doing a lot of experimentation and research in animation. Okay, so thanks for, they're doing an amazing job. Yeah, so thanks Roman for that too. So it's the Agora community server right in Discord. I think even though there's it's just some small tips here, it really helps who is starting. I want some feedback from how do you get feedback. So these are reliable feedbacks, even though they might be simple, they go straight to the point. And so I think these guys are very cool to be doing this for the community. Although the Agora community, when I first entered, I was being there for many months. I was there. I couldn't really connect with anything. Like it sounds too pro, too distant from my perspective in general. But as I kept observing what they were doing, getting in touch with this professional realm and all that, and of nowadays, right, of the industry, I started to get more in touch with what they are working. I've asked some questions, some people answer with good ideas, so I've started to get more in touch with that. Now, like they leveled up in my point of view. Now I find these guys are super cool, even though there might be things that we disagree, of course. But now they have my. This is why I'm making some mentioning of them and praising, right? I think they are doing a fantastic job. So for me, they will be like an reintroduction to the animation industry, right? Cultural industry, right? So I think they're very cool by doing this and making these feedbacks and all that. So I think they. Okay, let's get here to some fixes. So he said the broken knee here. So, but before we go here, I'm trying to fix the stretching. So you see, I was making some change to the animation, by the way. Let's do here. So you see, this is already 24 as they asked, and so let's do this. So there, I'm gonna change this leg, the other leg too. So you see, I'm changing the spine. I'm changing this. This is completely broke. This is something about the rig that I'm not clearly understand yet, but there are more bones here. So I've tweaked many bones. I have to. So this will be probably it would be better to clean up if I just reset all of these tweaked bones. But there might be some memory of good intentions that I've made. I was doing there. So let's try to do. So what I'm doing is I'm fixing this. This is the torso, this is the hips. So yeah, like these are minor bones and these are bigger bone, right? You see, this carries everything. So this is the blocky thing, right? The bulk of the torso is here, right? So this moves everything. So yeah, I can move this. I first moved this now in the fixes, right? Trying to grasp all the. Also, folks, let's go back to the Blender only, so now we don't get distracted by anything else. And let's get to the maybe this is a bit too loud. Yeah. So I was so here's how we get this thing to be visualized. So there's a lot of bones here, but it's not important. So I just want to work with these bones. I need to be looking at them for references. Now, is this one? Oh, no, so this one. And then we pick the head maybe and the neck, this one. So, and Shift H, of course, these bones. Torso tweak, yeah, no torso tweak, no torso, yes, head, yes. Not this, yeah, nothing here, okay, not just the head and torso, yeah, so. And if I unhide, yeah, there's those bones I don't want, so Control Z. So now I'm looking at this, but now we're gonna use this in the action editor. We're gonna get this, only show selected. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking. Okay, so this is cool because if I select whichever bone here, it will be shown. Whichever is shown here. But there's a problem here is that if I pick two bones, I cannot. I have to, when I will gonna manipulate the bone, another keyframe, it will deselect the other and then it disappears, right? There's just the torso or the hips or the chest. So in this case, I need to have both visible. So what I need to do here, this is something I'm still trying to figure out in this workflow. So this is very annoying. So if I, yeah, of course, if I use this, then we see every bone that is visible. If I unhide everything, we see more bones appear here, more channels, right? So no, so this I need to hide everything. Then by not using this or just hide, okay, let's hide this too. So then you, okay, now we can, but then I lose the others. Yeah, so this is annoying, right? So I want to have them visible, not for this, but for to see where they are, right? Alright, so you see I'm refixing the poses for this bone. I've already done this for here. Also, oh, looks like we're missing some keyframe. No, all this channel is here. So you see there's keyframe everywhere here, so this is good. I already fixed that. I was going bottom to top, right? So in this case of refixes. So this maybe is very messy. I don't know where it is. I think it's not rotating in any crazy way. Yeah, it is probably correct. Just looking at the axis there. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I was fixing this, but there are some problems that in some poses get really offset from the original, and it's bizarre, but okay. So this will be the overshoot is here, but I'll have probably to refix this pose. Yeah, no, hold on. Here I'm not, yeah, the overshoot is because I've manipulated here and then the leg bend here on the knee joint. So I have to, unfortunately, have to remake some stuff. So, and so now it relaxes and then she starts falling. This I added to the animation. Of course, it's everything wrong. The worst part is here, what's happening to the spine here. I have a lot of problems, but this we're gonna fix is probably the tweakers which are messed up. I need to fix them. Okay, and now I have probably this is very bad for visualization, right? So this is sort of urgent that I fix this so I can start reposing those bones in some more adequate way. So I'm using local transform orientations, and that will help posing this thing. So yeah, if provide I'm in the auto keying also option on. So this is very important to have them visible because I want to pose them in sync in the same frames, right? As there exist already other keyframes. So for example here, I'm not sure if I want this. Oh yeah. So okay, exactly. So I want this torso to, yeah, let's make this torso here. Let's complete this pose mode, right? I want this torso to rotate more, rotate X, no, rotate Z, what the hell this rotates? Rotate along the Y, okay, rotate along the, no, Okay, maybe it's the X. I don't understand what it is doing. Maybe it's so messed up that the rig that it... no, it doesn't make sense. So maybe it's how the bone moves anyways. So I think I'm gonna just... I'm trying to... twist it more to the... Oh, it's because maybe I'm selecting multiple bones. Yeah, maybe that's it. What's happening? Okay, this bone, alright. Okay, here. RX. No, RZ I'm doing. Okay, so I want to... this torso to be very twisted like here, even more. Then is the neck and head are completely broken. And then as she kicks now we're gonna de-twist this. I'm gonna... yeah, I did a control... I made all sort of resets here. And now I'm gonna just... because this will be easy here, right? I want to reset. And if before she was... oh yeah, the thing is rotated inwards, right? Good. And then this will rotate outward. So I'm not really scared about the anatomy here and inconsistency. I really don't care. It's about animation. Fuck anatomy. It's not... of course, we are gonna fix those horrible things, but I mean, even if they look good, doesn't mean that the anatomy is correct. So here the purpose is really of having the good pose, not anatomy wise totally right. It's more about the pose, especially because this will be an extreme, and because it's an extreme, usually we have a R extreme, right? You have... how do you use this thing? Okay, well, why it's not... okay, it has a different color, so at least I know what it is. So this will be like everything here. Oh, this is good. R. Just first time I used the feature in a recurrent time. So yeah, the extreme here, and this is overshoot. There's no overshoot here. This is like a keyframe, right? Okay, this is typical, and this is going to be called an extreme too, but yeah, this is an extreme. Although it might be more a keyframe, but let's say it's an extreme. Then the other extreme, the relaxation, right? Or the reaction, right? Action, reaction. And so here, you see how this worked in the previous post, but we're gonna fix that. Okay, let's make sure that this thing is... this torso, let's rotate more like here. Yeah, there's something about the rig that this moves differently. So this bending of the back is not something that I did. It's like something that the rig does. But I think I can fix that. Okay, so after this, we're gonna relax, and I'll see from another angle here. This is horrible. Yeah, so we're gonna try to... yeah, after got this, let's try to find some... probably need to... yeah, I'm gonna pick the bone here where it is, chest... keyframe here, Control C. I'm just gonna Control V here because this is so broken that it's better that I repose it. It's a relaxation. So now, for some reason, it's because the torso is also moving. So yeah, this is very messy. So the idea here is just to get, yeah, let's get some relaxation. Yeah, maybe this. I'm not sure, but we'll see when more stuff are fixed. Then for here, I can do this relaxation by Alt G, Alt R, and then I'm gonna, yeah, move this a bit backward, right? Because that rotate like that. And yeah, it is coming from the side, so let's rotate it a little more so it starts to recover. It's still maybe, okay, maybe that. But maybe you shouldn't recover like the torso going down like that. Probably since she's falling, let's bring this down, right? Like, probably I need to move this, yeah, because maybe I need to move this too. There are a lot of bones here that are broken. The it's horrible to see that. Okay, the legs and the hands are gonna rework them later. Alright, so I totally need to fix that. Let's fix the neck now, because the neck, yeah, this I'm making the stretch, but the stretch I'm gonna fix the stretch with the tweakers. It might be easier at this point. The legs here I'm gonna also fix. Okay, so you see maybe I don't like the torso moving up. Already here it moves up too much. Let's make some change here. Yeah, I don't want that, so I'm gonna keep this low. I don't want this twisting, right? Or if I want this, I'll need to even move this lower, right? So now, yeah, something like this is better, but maybe you need even more, right? And that the leg starts to get really bad, right? Okay. She's falling too fast, right? So we're gonna get the torso here. Let's make another brick down here. So Shift E towards the beginning, yeah, like 25%, doesn't matter, something like here. And exactly here, and then we're gonna call this a R. This is a brick down, yeah, so here we go. And this is what? This is just a keyframe, yeah, this is a keyframe, and this is... Oh yeah, I need to fix that too. Okay, so... Yeah, all that... falling terrible. Okay, so this is completely broken, but we could delete, right? You can end the animation here, by the way, but let's do a little more. Okay, let's address the neck now. Maybe the neck and the head, because they are close by. And so you see neck and head, what they are. So it's the last one of them. We can rearrange those things with page up, page down. No, move channel. Now, how do you move this? It's shift page up. It's not really working for some reason. Shift. Yeah, okay, but we just want that. So, okay, let's... so the neck here, it's hold the head. Yeah, there's a little rotation the head, I believe. Now you can see here, okay, there is a slight rotation of the head. Very simple, I'm not caring about this motion here. Then here they are brick downs, but this is not necessarily cool, so yeah, more. So this is lack of attention here. We can maybe get... Yeah, you know what, let's make a small rotation, RZ, right? Something like this, very subtle. Same for the head. Now the head already had, but now let's make the follow-up, right? Then here we could have a small, tiny extreme, ignore the hands. Here we're gonna, yeah, so here it went back, right? So, okay, this will be bad to stop like that, so we're gonna... What could you do here? We could overshoot here, right? So this is something I'm not too used to doing 3D animation, right? This domain, so I need to get used to it. For example, I don't know, I have just 2 frames here. This is too close. I don't know if I overshoot this with 1 frame, maybe 2 frames. So maybe from here, yeah, let's overshoot here. So that means that I'm gonna rotate this neck even more here, but then it goes back. Is that it? Maybe we move it a little also, and then it goes back. I'm not really sure. Maybe we have to, as we saw that I don't want to do a lot of keyframes here. If we could solve with a single interpolation, it's because there's a tiny motion, right? And it can't be too yeah, it can be too blocky. So maybe I can 50. Does this work? No, it doesn't work. So we can cheat. I don't know how to do this here, but we can cheat. We can make the breakdown much closer to the end, like let's say 93% here. Then I'm gonna delete this keyframe and substitute. Right, so here we go, and now we're gonna yeah, I'm not sure this got the job. Not exactly what I mean, maybe. So maybe I pick this, and let's just rotate here, like make some sort of motion that will signify that. Let's copy it because it was a hold control. Okay, let's do this again. All right. Yeah, so see there's a tweak here that is very subtle. Maybe that is good enough. Then for the head, same thing here or something similar. We're gonna make a slight. No, this is incorrect. We need to. No, this is actually correct. So we're gonna make some pose here, and then we're gonna make the head tilt a little like here, and then it returns, right? It's too fast and it's too much, right? So you need to. It is locked here. Let's cheat this thing. No, it's not here. Playback. Strangely, I can't keyframe anything. Okay, so now there's a problem. I thought that there's a way to keyframe something in between. Okay, never mind. So we're gonna just delete this keyframe for the head. We're gonna redo it. Just do it's G Z, right? So it's very subtle motion here, and you see that this affects already a lot because this is a keyframe, right? So instead, let's delete this. Shift D here, so gonna hold again, but this one we're gonna GZ there. Okay. Okay, now that's my work. So this is very traditional. All right. Okay. Another thing we have to fix. Okay. We have this little hold. They say they in 3D animation don't do holds. I don't trust that information. I think this is whenever they say always do this, always never do that. That's of course this is stupid. This like of course a rule of thumb. It's just a red flag, but not necessarily it's because it's red flagged, like in the sense that it's absolutely negative in all sense, right? Sometimes you can deal with that in specific contexts. Of course, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be deadly. But sometimes it's good to experiment, right? So okay, so neck continue here. So is there anything special about the neck position here? I think here, let's see. What is the resets that I have here? Yeah, so the neck is, yeah, it's not too bad. But I think I'm trying to compress it a little into the body. Maybe it's a good idea. And the head is, okay, there's some rotation there. Maybe I'll do a little more like here. Because this is not my rig, so probably don't have auto IK options. So the neck and the head are separate things, entities. And so this is not exactly how, right? So I'm used to work. I think it's not ideal, but that works. Okay, I'm looking at the axis because it's important. So for the head, let's see what it's. The head is okay. Nothing much to see here. Maybe we need to move a little here. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this motion here. Like, I think it will be better, although it's not clear for me which pose for jumping head, because yeah, we could make something that is gradual, like yeah, it doesn't make too much sense that she's looking, yeah, because it's an air kick, so maybe it would make more sense if she's looking up, right? Until so I'm probably gonna make a keyframe. Yeah, and here, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, let's skip that down look. But as she jumps, we're gonna make a keyframe here for the head where she starts looking up. I'm gonna bring, yeah, I'm gonna make this one. See, and then now we're gonna not make this, but in front, so something like here. Gonna make the neck go back, and yeah, so it will sort of, it's like you have an aim target, right? But no aim target, so this should probably work. Then next here we might start to get the good clean up here that I need to do, because now the torso is starting to change, so we're gonna make a lot of changes here. I don't know what's happening to this head, so you have to, in the worst case scenario, just reset, right? So here at this point, let's Alt G this, because Alt G the head, maybe it's to displace, yeah. I want this neck maybe. Yeah, you can make some distortions here. And maybe, yeah, more things like the shoulder we fix later, alright? So she start to pivot here. And even the root bone suffers here in the way I've made this change. This is very anatomically incorrect, but you see, we're not gonna pose in every frame, right? The animation, in animation, we want distortion, right? And so here, I would show this root if it was ever. Yeah, I'm gonna do Control Z. You see where it will pivot by the end. This it goes up and then it pivots slightly just to help in. This is not necessary, but it's because I'm not familiar with the rig. That was a solution that I found to make it, and it was kind of cool. But okay, let's move back. I'm not gonna touch this root anymore unless I find some other use. Usually it is not a great idea, but as explained, because I was trying to do something with the rig, I had to find that alternative there. Okay, so this will be the event of kick about here, and then is falling, right? Okay, but neck. All right, where is the neck? Is here and here. Okay, what? All right, so you see, looks like that. I need to be pushing this back maybe a little, because yeah, there should be some delay, but this is very wrong, right? So here we're gonna reset, because apparently something is super wrong here in the position of the I don't know what's happening here, but okay, we're gonna try to readjust the neck and the head. This, yeah, it's very violent, so maybe I've exaggerated a little here. I'm gonna try to straighten this up instead of making her back flex backwards, right? And here is what is very broken. In the, here's already broken. Probably this is the tweakers, because it's not something that is posed. It said I'm resetting the G, so it's not the position of the neck. It's not the rotation of the neck. It's something else. So it's probably the tweakers that are going nuts there, that were already nuts. So here we're gonna fix this pose. Here we're gonna reset the neck, reset the. All right. So for some reason the neck and the head are not following. There might be some other bone that I posed, that I keyframe, that I'm not aware of. But although it's hard to control this, like it's not very easy to control this rig for neck and head, but it's very cool that we have this motion, right? So yeah, so I want the neck and the head to really. This will, with the violence of this kick, probably this is a bit dangerous to bend the neck and the head all together, but that's we don't care. So it's an animation, it's not a real person. Okay, so but we're gonna fix this these things right here after she kicked. So here you can, I think you can start to relax this. Yeah, I'm gonna just relax the. No. Let's go back here, because I don't know this. Need to update the keyframe. So neck and head, Control C. And let's do here Control V again. Except that these are shouldn't be breakdown stuff. Or should they be? What is this thing? It's no, it's extreme. Of course, this is not extreme. This is a breakdown stuff. Keyframe. The neck. I don't like this pose. We're gonna move this here. Like I see some animators on the internet doing stuff very analytically, like the Z axis, the X axis, the Y. I don't like this. It's too noobish. I think I go straight for what the pose that I want, and if I need some analytic, then I go for it. But usually I go straight for the pose that I want. I don't waste time with because the idea of the pose is already on my mind. I want to stamp it. This is the traditional way of doing the sketch for 2D traditional animations, at least in Disney, on some artists, professional artists, that mention that the sketch for 3D animation, you learn to sketch for 3D animation. It can be a very powerful thing. Like for example, there's a book from animation from script to screen for Seamus Colhane, that guy. That was my master by book of 2D traditional animation. Mentor, I'd say. Mentor, because he expressed there's an exercise in that book that you learn how to sketch like one drawing per minute, and then every third during 1 hour you need a 60 blank page sheet of paper. Then you sketch one, the first image that comes to your mind, drawing a character that you know to draw, how to draw from memory. Instantly you need to start drawing when your chronometer, when the countdown timer sets up to start. Then 1 minute to draw an entire pose. The entire character you need to complete in just 1 minute. That's very little when you're not familiar with this, or if you don't like to draw fast. But then as you train, you do this, and immediately when it ends, the 1 minute sketch, then you must get a new paper, sheet of paper, and start the next one. And the first idea that comes to mind, like an image of pose of that character, that same character that you have in your mind, has to start again, all over again, a new pose, right? And then you start to create pose after pose after pose after pose, each one crazy, well, one crazier than the other, because after you practice enough, you are boring and doing always the same easy pose. You start to explore it, because it is a bit chaotic process. You are forced to sketch out. You get so this is not just for the speed of the drawing, is the hand. It's a speed of the mind, of the imagination, and so you immediately get a pose in your mind, and this is how you get trained to do this imaginative work of animation. So it's why once I know the pose, that I visualize the pose, I don't want to be grabbing axes of bones. No, I want something that animates the whole body, like if I was pixelations, stop motion of your own body. You know what you want, so it's instant. You get the instant pose. We can do this in 3D, of course. This technique, right? Because it's 3D animation technique for me is the worst thing for learning animation, because it's like the creepiest technique there is, the sluggerish one, most sluggerish one. It's completely stupid to start learning animation from 3D animation technique, because starting to learn animation with 3D animation, of course it gives interpolation, but this automated interpolation is a nightmare. It causes more problems for learning than in my opinion. Of course, anyone that has started to learn from 3D animation technique directly have their own experience, right? Unique experience to tell. So I cannot tell my experience, but it's not that what I say is better, right? But because the 3D animation domain is newer than the 2D animation domain, right? We can say that, well, something existed before, even before anyone started doing 3D animation. Animation was already done by stop motion animators, 2D drawing animators, and so forth. And so this is why I think, of course, it might sound like conservative viewpoint or traditionalist viewpoint, but you see, there's certainly that's kind of stupid, because we should be open to new perspectives. But from what I've seen in the 3D CG, right, Blender is very complicated to adapt to. It's very stiff, like even grease pencil. Have you tried to draw anything with grease pencil? It's super hard. It took me years to just starting to get familiar with. It's so hard to use this stuff. I'm very impressed how some artists are able to get used to this and do great stuff with it. I just can't. I've started to use grease pencil for certain things like model shit. Yeah, that's what I like. But for drawing characters, even sketching, it's still very bad for sketching, because it's very sluggerish. It creates a lot of. I can't compare this with 2D software like Krita, or even you cannot compare any software with hand drawing, right? Anyways, on paper, nothing will substitute this. Of course, they can compete with this, not compete, but they can favor. They can have their own flavor, right? But so there is something I think that is important to consider. If you're you need to know a little of the animation, like 3D animation is super cool. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it, trying to do it. But you know, this vibe, 3D animation, let's go. No, it's very important to know the history of animation, in my opinion, to have some background, not necessarily an artistic background, but I mean to understand the context of the animation. And that means that if anyone learns animation only and stay in 3D, I think this is very limiting. Of course, creativity goes wild, so it's not like you can be a great animator just with 3D, but if you don't know if you never experimented other techniques of animation, then you know that this is very limiting. I think you just don't know much. You have a lot of unknown things, and those things are very knowable because there is a history, there are stuff to study. So this is why I think starting with 3D animation is very stupid. Of course, maybe it's good for certain things, of course, but for character animation, that which is a complex subject, no. You can learn it altogether, sure, with other, but I think drawing animation, stop motion animation, pixelation animation, all those things should go together in a learning. So this is why, you know, the École des Gobelins at Paris, this is one of the best school of animation in the world to this day. And that's cool. At least there's the propaganda, but I believe it's true. The animators there are really critically good when they finish just 3 years of technique of learning. And you know what's the last year of those 3 years is 3D animation. So they just go enter in 3D animation after they've gone from a full process of learning more the other context, the other techniques. And why this is it? Oh, there's a logic behind it. It's because probably 3D animation sucks for learning animation. Point. So it's not just me that's saying it. The structure of the course itself, famous course, is already telling them. Of course, they're not telling this that way, but maybe they know better. Yeah, probably they know better. And I think I've just got the insight that might be the reason, right? So because it's very bad to, you see, I lose this pose. I could already have drawn hundreds of this pose if I was drawing, making or doing stop motion. But now here I need to pose each of these bones. You see, it's very sucking doing this thing, and so this is why I love in Blender the auto I key option. And this rig doesn't have it, right? If I try to auto I key option this, no, there's no control for this, of course. Yeah, so this bone is left disconnected, right? So there's no auto I key option here for this thing. Yeah, I see no connection here, so it's parented to a mechanism rotation next. So it's like so this is like this is garbage for me because, you know, this is old school stuff, right? These guys don't understand anything of rigging for animation. Now, of course, I'm being sarcastic, but what I mean is that truly, I don't know what those guys. I'm not criticizing the rigger that made this personal. It's not that. What I mean is there's a complete lack of, and I think I'm saying this because I have studied animation from other backgrounds and I have my personal approach to animation. So for me it makes no sense posing these bones right like this. It's like completely stupid, and it makes no sense to me. Of course, you need this to post 3D animation. No, you don't need to. You can make better rigs for a more dynamic, more organic 3D animation. So this is the kind of stuff the softwares like Cascadeur, which are coming up with some features. I think it's a paid software, but it comes with features like looks like more dynamic ways to employ forward kinematics, inverse kinematics, and even another kinematics that I don't know what is, some global thing. I don't even know what it is, but it's all about having spontaneous ways to pose the character in different behaviors for the character. And so this is the things that needs to be right. We're 20 years, more than 20 years, maybe 30 years or in this stuff, and it's incredible that there's so little understanding of what really matters in animation. So I'm shocked, right? This is why I'm corrosive here, because it's not about Blender, right? This many of these rigs are for Maya or versatile. So in Blender you have auto IQ option. I don't know if there's something like that for Maya. I'm gonna ask, by the way. But the majority of the rigs don't even use this kind of features. So it's completely stupid. It's completely that's why I say, like, as a effect sentence of effect, like this. The most people that talk about rigging and animation, when it comes to the rigs, they don't know what they're talking about. It's like for me, it's like they were born yesterday, like. But I think it's not just because I have a background in 2D animation and flip books, 2D tradition, not digital, which also have keyframes like that you can have automatic interpolation, flash animation, that I'm not very savvy with. But let's start to progress here. Sorry, folks. Let's so let's try to get this. Okay, these poses are fixed. Then we have this one. Let's see. It's because when I started animating in flipbooks when I was a kid, 12 years old maybe, I animated some sort of organic stick figures, like not straight stick figures characters that were very supple. They were very organic, for that matter, and they were drawn very fast, and they were very organic. They are very bendy, and they could have angular curved. They could have angular shapes also, and I draw this really, really fast. So even so, I finished the flip book like in less than 1 hour, if I started, because it was very fast to draw this. Actually, it was complete in a few minutes, with explosions and all that. And I made a lot of that. Of course, it gets boring at some point, maybe, but that way of drawing, making animation with these kind of stick figures was very dynamic. So even for drawing animation, from my personal perception of drawing animation drawing, like the stick figures, those organic stick figures, animation drawing was dead already for me, because like if I try to draw a real character, I need to really master the whole drawing thing to be able to draw this really fast, like never as fast as the stick figures that I knew how to draw very well, but instead, so this became very tedious, complex animation drawing, which I love complex drawings, but like for animation, very tough. So that leads me into something that was more lazy, maybe like 3D animation, but then you have the other problems there, right? And yeah, so this was one of the reasons why I'm always in this research of efficiency on the posing matters, because all that I did in my artistic history of animation, not everything, but a lot of things corresponded to make the things very fast, and that was why if it's for animating, so I'm using this rig just for practice, for learning there, but other, because it's cool, because my rigs are not ready. Actually, I like very much this rigged model, this character Akali. I think she has a lot of personality, although kind of cliche, but I like the outfit, everything here. It's but yeah, I'll be more critical about the rig itself. But this is fine. The animators, they were not that were gonna animate this. They wouldn't be so exigent. So okay, so here we're gonna start to fix some other stuff, right? Yeah, this is, of course, we're gonna fix a lot of stuff here, right? Maybe this doesn't need to fold in this way. Let's, yeah, very weird way to fold. Let's check this thing. This last part of the animation is not very important, so it's not there's a new keyframe for that, right? So let's try to reshape this curvature here. Maybe this will be better. Anyways, this will be counteracted by other stuff, but of course this will be kind of weird, right? So maybe here we need to be careful. Yeah, I need to be careful about these curvatures here, right? This can't go like that. So let's delete this keyframe here. We're gonna repose it torso here. This can be very messy, so we're gonna just pick. I'm gonna make a breakdown here of in between. Now looks like this pose can already be a problem. Yeah, because it's doing this weird curvature. So maybe, what is this one? Oh yeah, this one is probably the wrong one. Let's delete this. It was a breakdown, by the way. We're gonna, yeah, so after here, okay, we'll accept this one. But from here, we're gonna change here. So we're gonna make a breakdown about here, right? Yeah, we want to delay this this part here, right? So we get here, Shift E. Let's bring here some breakdown about here. Yeah, she's falling. So you see now this get a good curve. So Control, no, R, just R, breakdown here. Now actually, just for the, I don't know why I did added other keyframes here, but just here, let's make a breakdown. All right. Okay, so now you see now this falling straight. So now this is, that should be good enough. And well, we could make a little adjustments here, or maybe like here. Why not? Yeah, we can do this, and then for the last one, we can maybe do something like here. Why not? Like she's falling on an arc. Why not? Right? So it's like those kind of questions like that. I know that you don't need to follow the. There's no. You can do anything you want, provided it looks good, right? That's a great thing about animation. One of the great things of, like, you know, that see those principles. Yes, learn all those shits, but you know then you can walk cycles, try a lot of things and all that. But then you start to explore and you see there's some more depth to everything. That so okay, let's close those things here. Let's get some. Okay, this is garbage. Let's get some soundtrack here, folks. Yeah. Ah, shit. Soon, let's start here. All right, this is Mass Effect soundtracks. Okay, so a game, right? So here we're gonna continue. Here I was fixing the neck and the head. I'm not sure this is ready. What should it do here? Maybe I should exaggerate this a little more. Yeah, because... Yeah, let's... Because this is very far, this keyframe is very far from everything else, it can go... We can pose it very wildly in this... Alright. Let's try here. Let's try to make the head and the neck like, you know, stretch in this orientation here. Yeah, there's something like that might be better. RX, yeah, because just front. Okay, this. And here maybe we need some relaxation. Yeah, I'm really not looking really what I'm at everything that I'm doing here. I'm just I'm going intuitively, right? I'm not. I know what in general. So this is why even though everything is messed, I'm not paying attention to that. I just know that I need to fix the certain things, and when these things are fixed, if these ideas are correct, then everything should be all right in the end. So it's not a problem. Maybe here for the neck and head, we're gonna shift D here and F. We're gonna Control C, Control V. Why this is not? Why you don't have a hold here? Oh, this is the chest. All right, so make some mistakes here. Okay, head. Control C, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control. Okay, something is happening here that this keyframe is not. Okay, I don't understand why it is not. Why they are not interpolating, holding, right? Maybe it's because they are being moved by something else. Okay, we don't care. Just gonna try to repose this in some way, but yeah, this is very incorrect. Yeah, so I have to. Maybe I'm gonna just delete everything here. It's let's end it here for now. Then if I find a way to go back, then that's fine. Yeah, here are a lot of problems already anyways. Yeah, as this falls, it's not falling anymore. Yeah, this should fall in sync, right? So maybe this will be. Yeah, she needs to keep looking. Okay, let's try to see. So this is fix the neck. Now we go finally for this creepy tweakers. Okay, sorry, we don't see. You see, there's a new motion going on for the. There's the kick, then the extreme. Then we have to fix these things on the back and everything. The overstretch, and I'm gonna fix the legs. So now I'm gonna approach this tweakers, and then we're gonna make this spine stretch, because now all these major bones were their keyframes were mostly solved. If there's anything else that I can't fix with the rest, then we're gonna address it. So probably I'll still need them as a reference here, but this will be very. So torso tweak, Alt H. So I'm not using this, so I'm gonna hide this. Let's see what are. Here we need this selection, because what does this thing? Yeah, those are minor tweaks maybe. These are major. Yeah, this moves the. Okay. So you see, these ones move. These are extras, so probably I can. Let's delete this keyframe, right? I don't want this anything here. So this keyframe everything. No, you don't need to keyframe everything. I've already seen some animators, 3D animation talk about that recently. You don't need to animate everything. Keyframe. Actually, this is messy. If you are patient and organized, then you don't need to keyframe everything. What I think I should be doing here, by the way, is this location, rotation. And now I'm gonna, well, I don't want the scale just for sake of organization. I seldom use this. I don't really understand everything about this. I suspect the custom properties will be useful here, but don't we have a custom thing? Yeah, so actually, yeah, let's just this one, right? So whenever I insert a keyframe, probably this from now on it will just be ignore scale. Of course, this will be very messy because so I don't want this triggers because you see there's just one keyframe anyways. It is something for the head. Yeah, I don't want anything for the head. It's not the head, it's actually the face, right? Okay. So, oh yeah, this shoulder probably we need to readjust. Yeah, you see there might lacking some keyframes here for this. We're gonna hide. These are a keyframe here, so deleting just for clearing up. Probably don't need this. All right, then we need this. We need this. You see there are some messy keyframes here, so we can work way more those things. I don't believe there's anything else. What's happening here? So probably this is the culprits. We got some weird poses here for this. Yeah, probably it's these keyframes here that mess up everything. Yeah. And this one as well. No, we don't see too many keyframes, so I don't know what's totally disrupting the rig, but it's probably these ones. So I'm gonna try to not delete this keyframe. I'm gonna repose them. Probably this shoulder. Yeah, this shoulder we're gonna work out. Not yet I'm be patient, not overwhelm stuff with the hands and maybe this. This is the torso pivot. I see. We got some. Why do you need this torso pivot, by the way? It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Why is it even there? It's a pivoter of the. I see. It's just a no. Okay, this might contain some sort of. Yeah, so we don't need this. Gonna hide. I don't know how to use it because maybe it's a feature that you use with. This is a rigified rig, by the way, so it should. Oh, this one has this. Gonna delete this keyframe. Yeah, each one. Anyone that has just one keyframe we delete because that means that it's probably broken. Alright, so this is what we need here indeed. Let's start with, okay. Yeah, let's start to fix this stuff. So first, let's see if this needs any reset here. Apparently not. Okay, then we have, we need some visualization, right? But this is very, very messy. I need to select all here, all those bones. We're gonna make action selection sets, right? Otherwise, this will be impossible to do correctly. So I'm gonna add here a sign for those bones. This torso rig, yeah, torso, just torso stuff, so that I know what. Okay, so torso stuff here. Select all. Then Control T. No, it's Shift T for me. No, Shift T is this new shortcut. So there's a Shift A. I think okay, it's torso stuff. So now that means that if I unselect everything, I can still get back to here. So this I'm doing because now I need to torso stuff, Shift H. Now I need to just select the bones which have one like this one. Let's use these ones as a base of reference for all those things. Okay, there we go. So now I have to work with this. Let's also protect this. And now we can see where we might require some of the... Yeah, you can play with this thing already. Yeah, we can do some stuff. So we're gonna extrapolate some stuff here. We can, like, when she goes down here, I did something already with the rest of the body. That's a keyframe here. Next, you see, I'm next, up and down arrow. So, because I'm seeing the other bones, only these ones, because they have these major keyframes. It will be very hard to visually, right, here you don't have the navigation, so you can go anywhere. So there was, wait, what's happening? This is not possible. Why am I able to look at these keyframes now? Not from the timeline, but from... Very interesting. Is it the same? So I think this is glitched. This probably is a bug. Doesn't make sense to me. Like, okay, it makes sense. Okay, because you know, no keyframes here, you can navigate. But well, okay, but why can you navigate here? Because you see the bones, but you don't see the keyframes. So nonsense. Very confusing. But very interesting. And there's another situation where it's the opposite. It works to navigate here, but not here. It's completely messy. I think this is a Blender 4.5 LTS thing. There was a solution here in the timeline which will be discarded in the future of Blender updating, which will be a good thing in general. And something about this only show selected that you could, but now apparently now this is broken, doesn't work anymore. But now this works. So, but you need to have the cursor or one or the other. Yeah, that's very weird. But okay, this is what I want. So I can use this indeed, but let's use this one. It's still okay, right? And you see I can also do this. At least, yeah, see it's complicated. Here I can't navigate, but here I can. So here will be better because I already reduced the amount of visible bones, right? So at least I have an idea here. Yeah, chest, hips. Okay, this. You see, I have a small, more global view here. So we're gonna keyframe here, and we're gonna also make here, and here we're gonna make a. What can we do here? We can pose something crazy here. Maybe we delay this thing. I don't know. Delay from the. If I delay, yeah, closer to here maybe. Okay. That is a very subtle thing. It doesn't matter really. But we can do the same for this one. Similar but differently. So we're gonna we're gonna insert a keyframe here. Then we're gonna insert another here, and okay, I don't know what it is, why this is doing this again. It's something about yeah, but okay, it's hold. It what matters to me, but it's weird that we don't see the whole thing. I'll find that later on. Okay, so exactly what I want to do is that I'm gonna pick this, but I'm gonna delay this. No, this moves something else. Hold on. This stretches and this. Ah, this doesn't do what I want. This does what I want. So actually, this is a major. Okay, instead we're gonna push this down, and then maybe it sets. Not sure how is it being controlled here, but okay, I've reset. this is reset, right? And this is the, okay, let's repose this thing. Now we need to do something else here. Okay, this here we want axis. Yeah, it's very subtle, no one will see here, so it's fine. But this, maybe this is not, yeah, this just seems to control the other bone, right? This, the base, very strange that it controls the bigger one, but, so I don't want to keyframe this thing. Probably this is, I prefer to stand with just this one, right? Yeah, I'm gonna ignore this bone here. So it's the tweak F key spine. Oh, it has a lot of keyframes, right? Because it's all messed up. Now we should look what it is doing, right? At least to have an idea. It holds. Yeah, it is just yeah, it is set in place. We're just gonna delete the entire channel here and hide the bone. And we're also gonna yeah, how do you remove the bone that, okay, we need to remove here and hide, all right? No, it's the wrong one. Okay, select again, Shift H, there we go. Okay, so this is spine 2, so this one is what the one that we're gonna use to try to fix this. So start in the beginning here. Alt R, Alt G, okay. What is the F key spine? Okay, the F key spine. Why don't you have a hold in the beginning? Shift D, there we go. And see, it's not willing to do the hold. Why it's not doing the hold? Probably this we can see with the curve editor. I hate this stuff, but it's necessary. Now, why you don't see the bone? Yeah, why it doesn't hold? Anyways, you see, it's not important here. Let's make a quick search here and let me search here. Why Blender? Duplicate keyframe, not hold. Invalid duplicate keyframes might appear to unduplicate if the target for the paste operation is missing animation data on the same channels. This often happens when copying keyframes to a new location or object, and those channels on the receiving end haven't been previously keyframed. Okay, this doesn't seem the case. Oh, okay. I see what's... It's because of my keying here. Is this garbage here? Because the animation is... It's not garbage. It's because this... of course... Well, no. Okay, let's reset G, reset everything. Okay, see, now it holds. It's because something about the reset scale, yeah, so it needed to... So now if I copy and paste, no, so reset scale, what's this? What bone is this? Spine FK is this one, right? So Alt S, Alt R, Alt G, Control C, Control V. Okay, so it's something about that the scale was not recorded. This is why it needs to show that some channels were not updated. So if just one channel apparently is not the same, it will keep doing the... It's confusing, right? Even though... So yeah, so this is why... maybe another good idea to have this keying sometimes, right? Because then you cannot copy unless if we already just from the beginning already have set this, then that is nice. Otherwise this will be a nightmare like just now. Then because already I've started the wrong way, so there's... I need to delete the scale keyframes channels for on the curve editor for every keyframe that exists in this rig. That will be very boring. Maybe there's an operator for that, but that's very bad, right? So here we're gonna, okay, so I want to, okay, we got this. Then here we're gonna we're gonna use this to, yeah, I'm gonna keyframe this. Let's use this stretching here. Why not? Lots of stuff here that we can do. We need some exaggeration here, right? So we're gonna actually, we can start by making some compression first, right? Very crazy, right? But we're gonna start doing some stuff like that. And then we're gonna, yeah, this is too far, so we're gonna, this should be, gonna approximate, yeah, why, okay, no, let's keep it there. Let's see if that, maybe it's too much, right? So but we need another keyframe here. Okay, here, as already bring this thing up. Here we can start to rotate this. There's already stuff rotating, but we're gonna start to play with those things all together. Yeah, this is dangerous to be doing this stuff, right? So, because then you have to re-keyframe everything. So I try to reset those things after they are set. Here we're gonna reset this because apparently there is nothing here. So you need to start working on this one, the F key 2, right? So, okay, we're gonna keyframe here. We're gonna, sorry, we're gonna, Alt G Alt yeah, so and here 2, right? And here we're gonna do okay, we're gonna bring this up here, but we're gonna hold this to the very end. Yeah, so Shift E. No, it's not like this. Is keyframe here. Okay, why it is resetting my, I don't know why it is, maybe it's, I don't know really the difference between this, but it seems that it's resetting. Maybe it's a bug. So I'm not gonna use this thing in this case. It was usually reliable. Okay, so you see what I wanted. So delaying here, even the bone went up a little maybe as the rest goes down. So it's a lot of ways to do this. Okay, then here we got this overshooting. No, this is fine. We got this will be too much work if we, here we're gonna push this down, and now we're gonna, yeah, can we reset this? Yeah, but we're gonna, it's maybe too exaggerated, right? Here already we can maybe do some stuff here. Yeah, we're gonna try to solve some of this exaggerated bending. Let's save. Okay, this seems okay, but here we're in the middle of the jump. So this one of the corrections asked, I already suggested by Agora community. So already, pay attention not to keyframe those things. Okay, so here the orientation of the bone really doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna reset because, okay, so what matters here is really the looks at this point and interpolation. Yeah, reset here. So I'm not sure what we need here. Maybe we need to, yeah, let's do something like that. Yeah, so this bone, of course, because look at the torso, there is totally, so I need to make some fixes, manual fixes here. And what this is, oh yeah, this is kind of nice. All right, we can do better maybe. Yeah, it's very bizarre to be doing this with all these bones. So this is it's very dangerous working with this tweaker. And what is this? Okay, more keyframes. So I need to. Okay, I need to be sure. Here would be good to have some markers because it's even I'm not familiar with the this is what is this frame here? Okay, so she's preparation, anticipation. Yeah, so this is the anticipation extreme, but why it is? This looks like an anticipation, but why the keyframe is here? Interesting. There's no bone for the chest here. There's no bone for... So this is maybe just a mistake here. Yeah, probably a mistake. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably was a mistake. So here we're gonna get this and... Yeah, it's a good proposition to get the spine here. I don't have enough keyframes for all this stuff, so let's compress here. Ah, she's already... Oh yeah, this is the kick. Okay, so this is the marker extreme. Yeah, this is the other mark. So this is like the kick, and this is the anticipation. Yeah, probably there's better ways to mark those things, but here's just to make sure. So this is not quite fast. We can reduce this, but I think this is good for the effect that I want. Usually you don't start slow like this, but you see that the effect is kind of interesting. Especially, okay, so here we're gonna... And then we need to continue fixing these bones, yeah, so here. Okay, but I haven't solved this one. We're gonna extend here, we're gonna extend the foot. This is the... Yeah, we're gonna extend more, we don't care. And then this we're gonna try to relax, and then we're gonna GR relax here. Yeah, so no, maybe not here yet. Let's make here, because there are some in between there, so it will automate this interpolation. Yeah, okay, now this back to this one, because this one didn't have keyframes at this region. We upgraded that. Okay, now this one, which is this channel, is here. We're gonna see for the anticipation, yes, we have this. Okay, we can do something like that, right? Yeah, can help the body to flex here in some crazy ways. We do more work with the hands later, but this is good. And then now she starts to... This is an anticipation. She starts to pivot, and so we're gonna try to do we need this? Maybe we don't need this. Maybe this is a mistake. Yeah, this looks like mistakes. And what is the difference between this and this? Yeah, this is probably a mistake too. Delete this one. And just to make sure, let's push this a little more. All right. This maybe you need to compress here a little more, because... And maybe here we're gonna try to... Yeah, okay, then we got this. Not reset yet. Let's try to fix this thing here, and then The problem is that these tweaks, they move the entire... Yeah, this is super annoying. This F key stuff. And then I think we're gonna try to reset here, but something terrible is happening. It's probably because of this, but this is already reset, so maybe it's this one. No. So maybe, yeah, there's... We may not be able to reset these bones in the end because, unfortunately, but that's okay. This is... It's not really necessary. Actually, it may be fine if they are not reset, by the ways. Alright, so this can be a bit messy, but let's go for the other one. Double checking. Okay, this is good. So now for this one, okay, this one does an important thing, but it also moves. So maybe the other tweaker at the end would be better, right? So F key 3. So you have to start everything from the beginning. We have already some keyframe here. Let's see, where is the... Yeah, so here. So here I don't care if I'm doing the keying without without scale. With scale I don't care because I don't want that other problem. I should have started already with just locked location rotation, but too late. So let's just bring here this so in here, when she crouches maximum here and hold, then we need here to follow this plan here. It's not necessary, but it's better to not get loose in the labyrinth of the keyframes, right? Because it's very easy to get to not find what we need. So it's good when they are aligned, but I know this is very, very stupid. Like in terms of timing. Nosas referencias. Adrian Contreras, welcome, bro. Bienvenido. So, well, I've used reference a lot in the past, but reference has always been good for artists in general, right? So, for this pose here, for this animation, I'm not using any reference. Well, of course, I have a lot of mental ideas from... Right, mental visual, you know. So, for example, when I've made this kick and I realized it's not completed, right? I'm changing a lot of stuff here. The hands and foot are the last thing I'm gonna touch here. The previous version, I'm not gonna open right now. Sorry, but it remembers me one character from Street Fighter. There's a kick from Kami. That had, this was another game that had exactly the kind of pose that, oh, this looks like something I remember. Then when I says her kick of Kami, and then but it was like it's imprinted memories you have in vices, like in your mind. So, but I would like to use reference for some works in animation, right, artworks, but I'd say that as good as it is to use the naturalistic approach, right? Observation, like references. It's good to try to do your own animations without any reference at some point. Even in the beginning, right? You need to have freedom of experimentation. But like I was, for example, one day I was working in a studio, very creepy animation. It was 2D traditional animation, the project, so I'm not even gonna mention what it is. The project, it sucked. And then there was some motion that was very simple, actually, or apparently very simple. It was a character orbitating his hand on the, how do you say, a cup of coffee. Like that, you know, the what is collier, la spoon. Yeah, the spoon was, he was just rotating the liquid, right, the coffee with the spoon, with the fingers, and doing some very simple action. But to animate that, for some reason it seemed very, very complicated. The mechanics I wasn't getting, so I had to record, go home many days, and or just a couple of days endured, but I had to figure out what was happening really in order to animate in the way mentally, right? And so I use reference to try to understand what it, but even if though I've used reference, the animation that I completed wasn't really good at the end. Like, it was good, but it was too mechanical, right? So it's not always good to use reference, but it's not always good to it's good to make analysis, right? Observation, even in sometimes, why not, right? I've done some, how do you call it, rotoscopia, right? And you literally you draw the what you see frame by frame, right? You copy, you decalc, right? What you so I did that too. It's different from observations. Estoy cocinando mientras miro to stream. That's nice. Me gusta como está quedando. Sí, thanks. So this I'm gonna be doing for a bit longer here, so we're gonna continue. But so essentially, reference is a must, but I don't trust anyone that, like you said, that will say that, because creativity is out there. It's right. If you are creative, if you have studied, if you have some crazy ideas, reference is welcome. But like, there are moments to use them. This is what I mean. Unless you are working like in Disney, or you have some sort of naturally, or you really like reference, or you are obliged to use it for example, I use reference to animate horses, cats, and dogs, because I really don't know on exactly how they move. In my mind is not, I don't have the map, right? The mental map for that. I don't have the mental map for nearly anything, but you see, there are many ways to use reference, right? When you observe how people move, you have some feeling, right? So in an animation, so you don't need to be doing this thing very analytically. If you observe intuitively, you catch the thing, right? You don't need to doing there's no way I don't use reference. This is what I mean. Of course I use reference, because I like to observe how things move, how people move. And sometimes in animation, it happened to me many times, happens to every animation, but maybe they don't talk about it, or they don't perceive it very well. But I was watching some anime, like Saint Seiya in English, but Caballeros del Zodíaco, I don't know. And that was in the very, very late series. There was some, I don't know if you know the series, but that's a cliche thing, right? The Sensei, and I love very much, because it was one of my childhood anime tragedies. So I liked it very much. But anyways, there are many shots on that animation. Same for other animation, of course, but there are many shots there that I got like in my mind some, you say, some stuff that stick. Also because I've watched more than once some, but then when I started to animate something randomly, some pose, accidentally or not so accidentally, I just got that motion, like or the pattern in place, right? You see, it was like I knew what was the time. It was a timing thing. Oh, you do this, and it sort of worked. It was very beautiful, the solution, and I just stolen, right, from it was a reference from another animation, right, a copy, but it's not a copy direct. It's like it's mental copy, right? You just got the influence from. This is how I think we can use reference. Also, it's not like you have some sticky memory, imaginary. It's in the imagination, right? It's already there. But of course there are things that worth studying, right? Referencing, observing deeply, analysis and all that. But personally, what I would say is that I create a lot of pose from observation, right? Drawing, observation. I studied observation drawing of human figure, right? I've made a lot of drawing. Also, I've made a lot of drawing from memories. I was passionate about the idea of making sketches, drawing from memory, pose, any of a character that I liked, drawing it on any pose, that on any perspective. This was like a vicious ambition I had at some point. It was very hard, very strugglesome to get this, but because I suffered to study the academic way. Eventually, I was lucky enough to have this experience in academic, but it took a while to get used to the observation traditional techniques, right, of drawing. But that they really helped me, because then you start to amass, to gather this visual memory, right, of the body, and there's some sensation about it. Also in animation, a lot of sensation about how the body moves. And I was, animators are crazy. The animators have their own stuff, right? Like you talk with any good animator, experienced animator, they all have their style of conceiving the motion. It's very crazy. I've met many animations, and I've talked with many animations as myself, and we had some crazy discussions. So I've started to realize, these guys, they don't think like animation like myself. They have different notions of how things works. It's very crazy and very super interesting. And then you start to realize that okay, whichever you use reference or not, but when you use it, it's more about the art itself. The reference is just some basic stuff, right? But it's good to mention, right? But it's like, if you allow me, it's just it's like the base question. Of course I use reference, but not necessarily like active reference. I use passive reference. And so there are very good artists, drawing artists, for example. I'm not one of that kind, that they have very, very like photographic memory. Like the image stuck in it sticks in their mind. So they look at a person, they can sort of reproduce the portrait. Even if the person is moving, they are very, very keen at the memory of what they see. And that is fantastic. And I think the same applies to motion. So sometimes if you just observe, you're already using reference, right? But it's crazy, right? Okay, we need to continue. So some artists are so good in this in their approach that they don't really need to use a lot of active reference, because they have observed. Maybe they've practiced while they've observed, but they observed a lot of motion. As for me, I've drawn a lot of poses of my characters on lots of different poses. So when it comes to creating crazy pose, expressive pose, I don't have any trouble with that. Well, of course, it's always a challenge, an interesting challenge, but it's really what I'm focused about. And how the interpolation happens, right? How the motion action happens in animation. Then that is all about the style of the motion, right? The mechanics of the body, naturalistic thing. Yeah, we go over this in some way, but at the same time, I'm doing stylized animation, so I think I want things to move in interesting ways. So at some point, I have to break the rules, and no, we need to do something crazy, and you do some crazy breakdowns, and then you break down the breakdown, and that's like this is when you get flexible, right, with everything. And I'd say that the referencing is the same thing. Like when you get flexible with reference, you observe nature. You might not be animating like directly 2D, 3D, but you are observing and you're seeing motion, you're feeling motion, you have the sensations of the motion in your body. It's like carved on your, like you see what I mean? It's like you get those things, it sticks, and when you get these things, they start to naturally process in yourself, right? And then eventually when you come to the board, to the computer, to the animation table, you might be able, if you are lucky, if you have the creative impulse, if you have studied enough, if you are in harmony with those feelings, with those ideas, with those imaginary, then everything comes together like magic. And sometimes things go wrong and you have to go back and study, but do analysis, right? Go back to school. But when you have the skills for, right, well, confident enough, well, it's not about confidence, sometimes it's more about the creativity, right? Whatever it means, right? Then you get the things done, and even if something is wrong, inaccurate, if it works, it works. There's no discussion, right? And so that's the thing, is the whole thing is working all together, then it can be let's say a good piece of artwork, creative animation. And so it's like you have you develop a sense for dealing with all the complexity, right? And then you want to eventually things to go faster, right? You don't want to waste time with basic stuff. You want to go directly to the, unless you love the basic stuff, right? But, or there's a great reason to be going after that. So here you see that we have to, here we're gonna move the whole torso thing, right? Because here we need to, no, it's not here, it's as she follow, what I'm doing. Oh yeah, because there's the kick. Okay, so there's a leverage of the hip. Very interesting. Like it's just floating, right? So let's exaggerate this a little more even. Yeah, something like that. And also maybe let's also do this. Yeah. Yeah. Very ninja. Yeah, because Akali, this character, is a ninja. Let's still satisfied with this. Let's do even. Yeah, it's more about the foot at this point. Yeah, it's more about the foot position. And then where is this keyframe? It is, yeah, there's a breakdown, but yeah, this breakdown here, we're gonna redo it. Gonna bring it very close to the beginning there. Yeah, so yeah, it doesn't seem too good. Let's push it. No. Wrong. Let's. Now she's falling. Yeah, so let's just maybe move this up a little. Okay, that sort of works, but I think this is too much, so let's just do it about here. Yeah, that should do. We might have to extend this a little. Alright, this will be, no, there's too many keyframes. Okay, let's do it later. Okay, so she's getting here. We just need to fix what I was doing here. Yeah, Shift A, torso stuff, Shift H. Okay, so the thing that I need here, what I was doing lastly, yeah, I was tweaking those. This was the last one. Is this finished? Yeah, it is finished. We got that. So everything now is go back for the more important things. So it fit in the hand, right? So we're gonna just want this basic one here. Now, let's pick these ones. And then we're gonna pick the, yeah, let's not pick this one. These ones, and let's also, do you have the hands here? No, we need to bring them. I'm just doing the I key here. I don't even know how to and leg eye key. Oh no, no, that is not. Where's the? Where are? Oh, these are the bone pole targets, right? Yeah, this rig is different. Okay, we need the pole targets. We'll use this and this. We're gonna pick this just for reference. And oh yeah, we need to fix these creepy shoulders. Okay, we got a lot of keyframes here, unfortunately. Let's try to isolate some stuff. Alright, let's. I need to fix the shoulders. This is sort of an urgent thing. Let's just do this. Yeah, this will be annoying. Okay, we need to shoulder, look the shoulder for the, let's move this. I think this controls are bugged, are glitched. Yeah, they are not working. But okay, this is what I need now. So let's also bring this other. Probably got broken in this version of Blender. Okay, so I need to check this shoulder here. Two things here. And okay, holding, that's great. Then we have here, totally broken, but it's not necessarily because of the shoulder. Let's try to improve this. Let's reset. Yeah, something. Okay. As for here, we can also reset. Let's try something here. All right. Maybe. Okay. We'll see, because I'm probably gonna remove, change the hand there. Why don't pose these freaking hands already? No, we're shoulder first. Okay, and then I'm not sure this is a great solution that I did here. Let's relax. What can we do here? The hip is here, so the shoulder. Okay, let's relax the shoulder. Let's do this. Move this one back, and maybe this one we move. Oh no, let's see the pivoting of the. It's back. So let's kind of. Yeah, let's leave like that. Okay. That seems okay. Then Control C for this two. This hold, Control C, Control V, there we go. Now for the ear we can probably push down these shoulders here. No, this can be actually yeah, this is an interesting pose. Yeah, let's do this. Why not, right? This. Yeah, we can do this. Like she's. And now we gonna reset something because maybe this got too messed up. Here I want to see if yeah, let's make some changes here. Like here she'll be placing there. Yeah, so now that I understand better the rig, I had some feedback and I fixed a lot of problems relative to this. I think I don't need these keyframes too close, right? So it's completely useless. That's messy. Delete this too, okay. We are reaching the anticipation. Probably here would be nice to have some keyframe because we have some interesting motion out there. We're gonna reset everything and just try to, because it can be very broken. I don't know why this position there. It's weird. So probably because of the what I did to the rest of the rig. So we're gonna try to get. Yeah, we'll have to do a lot of solving here. Yeah, this sounds okay. This could work. Let's see, just in case. These master shoulders don't seem to be. Let's exaggerate a little more. Yeah, we need to do something better here. Yeah, this is nice. Yeah. Then we have apparently some relaxation here. The totally broken thing here. This is also because of the arm. So we're gonna. Where's the base? Okay, so I don't know what's happening to the. But we'll try to do our best here. I think it is maybe just the arm. I could just at this point copy paste what is before because we have a good reference, but this might also work. And then finally we have, yeah, I probably need a pause here. So I'm gonna reset this. Reset this. Oh, this was very broken. Alright, so we're gonna. Okay, so here I know we need to. Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of stuff here. And as for this one, I'm gonna reset again. Let's try to exaggerate here. Something like this. Maybe more like to the front. If I can not destroy the mesh. Apparently it's not possible not to destroy the mesh here. But it's just a frame. Maybe that will work. Let's reset the pose. No, not working. Let's try here. Maybe the rotation is too strong. No, I don't know how much it had rotated already. Has rotated already. Let's try. Yeah, I need this one. Okay. Okay, so this one might work. It's a very terrible thing, but this will be fixing with the arm. Then finally, we don't have any key pose, but we're gonna. Let's go to this view here. There's also a camera motion. So here we're gonna reset this and reset this, and now we're gonna just try to. Yeah, so this is why a rig is also good as few bones it has. So a rig with a lot of bones is a nightmare to animate. Ideally we don't want too much. I think it's good to have but options, but too many is just more is less. I've heard some unagreed also. So it's good to try to make the rig as user-friendly as possible. And that's very hard because in a complex character, right? Then probably I have to fix some things in the neck. I don't know what's happening to these keyframes. Oh no, they are here. Alright. So okay, apparently we got this thing, some strange interpolation here. Yeah, some very strange interpolation here. So maybe we'll have to. Yeah, I'm gonna make some breakdown here. Closer to. Yeah, we're gonna get this closer to the final, and we're gonna override these two here. So now when this settles, it's not dramatic. And this pose is still good, so yeah, just readapted. And now we need to set the I need to set the, let's go back to the Mass Effect soundtrack. Alright, time for the hands and feet, finally. That was too cool. Right? So this shoulder was kind of fast, right? Not too much things to care about. There's something about the shoulders and the jump. Yeah, we need to fix something here. Let's make some... Yeah, let's make an extra keyframe for this. Just rotate down, rotate down. Maybe this one a little more, yeah. And rotate front, maybe. Something like that, yeah. And now you get this settle. Wrong keyframe. No? Yeah, wrong keyframe. As always happens. Let's bring this to the end. Maybe that... We'll ignore what happens. We're just gonna try to fix those things later. Lot of stupid motions there, but not my problem right now. Now we need to fix the hands, right? So for the hands it will be easier. Just need the... No, not so easy. We have more stuff, yeah. And this is where the legs... Okay, they have vanished. Shift A, torso stuff, but it's not this... I need another... Yeah, so not this one, just this. And this and... No, just this one. Shift H, we're gonna make this a another one. I key, assign, there we go. So let's get here. So this torso goes to the top, it's already in the top, so just need to address this one. So what happens here? Alright, already see. Yeah, let's do something here. Yeah. Why so many... What is this keyframes here? No, this is the torso is here. Not here. Those are other stuff. Too loud, sorry. Alright, so this hand is set, but we could use some more keyframes here. And so this is when this goes down, so you can... This Here is, yeah, could be an extreme. No, it's not an extreme actually. What should we do here? Yeah, this is an extreme. Let's do something a bit crazy here. We're gonna keyframe this in some odd way. We're gonna try this. Yes, and then here of course we need to, this keyframe is completely wrong. Here we got some contraction, but this will be very hard because it's too close. So actually we're gonna maybe delete this one, copy and paste. Now this won't work, too much. Let's maintain the original idea, something like that. Control C. The hold, it's sort of important that we maintain something. So for this we're gonna bring it here. We're gonna Shift E, gonna maintain it about, actually I'm gonna delete everything here and just add a blank one about here. No, just for the hand. Yeah, this can work, but maybe this is not so good, so I'm gonna bring it there. Let's also see these calculations here. Oh yeah, this is good. All right, now we can already. Yeah, there might be problems also with this thing here. I'm not addressing it. As this one, right? Control C, Control V, no. Control C. Control C. No, this is rotating. Okay, we keep this rotation. Maybe this thing needs some rotation after all. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna make this here and here. All right. Okay, now following the hand. Yeah, we'll need to work them together, but it's sort of, the problem is that this is motion and rotation. Very confusing for me. Okay, let's use this. So this is the stretching hand, so we're gonna use this, right? Okay, let's use this. How far is it? It is from the... No, that's great. Okay, that's sufficient. Even we could... break the arm somehow. We could do this if there is no intersection. Let's see. With the leg. No, it seems... Might be sound a little too artificial. Let's do this instead. Yeah. Maybe more here. Wrong frame. All right. Then... Oh yeah, this is a good loop. Yeah, good rotation. Let's do something like here. Let's push this thing here. This is nice. Okay. Yeah, this looks good, right? So here we need maybe if I knew how to break the joint in this rig. Yeah, I don't know how to break the joint. Okay, we're just gonna do it. So what I can do here is just try to... Oh, wait, maybe I can break the joint. Like... Yeah, maybe I can do something crazy like that. Okay. It's not sufficient. But it can get the job done, yeah. It will be better when we see the legs here. Wrong frame again. We need to... This curvature is not good. I need to push this more close to the body first. And then maybe here we're gonna... Yeah, some follow through, some... Like it's a tissue and it's okay. Here, what is this keyframe here? Do we need this? Probably need it, but we're gonna... What's next? Okay, next is this. So here we're gonna change this. So it's like, there you go. So she's gonna push her forearm strongly. Good timing. You see, there's you have one indication, but of course it's too fast. So this is not good. So you need this. Yeah, I don't have space here. I don't have time. So here we have a big problem. I would like to do some idea here, but I don't have the time for this. So I have to stick with something simpler. Like this will connect there, so there's just two little frames here to play with. So I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna just try to... Yeah, we're gonna maintain... Unfortunately, this extreme, we're gonna... Yeah, I think I've got... This idea is better. So I'm gonna sacrifice some idea. Yeah, this will be terrible. If it will ever appear, I'm not sure. I can't solve this thing. Maybe it's about the... No, it's some... Yeah, never mind. We don't care. It probably won't appear in the camera. Her neck is very broken here, but I like the arm being like that. Try to dismantle less the body. Okay, so this... And now we need to find the upper arm. Yeah, so there's a new path here. We need to see what we can do here. So totally reset the thing, because here need a breakdown. Yeah, this is a breakdown. This is the kick. So here, yeah, let's fix this first. So there will be a critical extreme. And What can we do this elbow? Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah. Yeah, the rotation here will be our work for the shoulder, but we got something good already. Okay, something like that. No, the arm we need straight, more straighten. Yeah, maybe that. Wash. There is another keyframe here which I. Okay, but this is the kick. This I. I haven't checked where would be the. Okay, let's make a keyframe here then. Like it's the. We need also to make sure we have keyframe this properly with alongside the hand, otherwise this could get, yeah, let's just keyframe this. It's keyframed here, then within the hand, yeah, with the hand. Okay, then and then I think now she needs to go back. All right. So here, ideally the fingers would have a different pose, right? But now the arm should be getting back to the torso. Maybe not so much. The legs are terrible. We're gonna address, but what is this? Something weird about that. Okay, let's. All right, and here let's also. Okay, and naturally, if we continue here, we'll need to do something about this arm, right? Okay, I'll try this, but probably. And then the end, it's unclear because we're not sure how we're gonna complete. Okay, the other hand, and then finally the hand and this stuff, right? Okay, now we have the. Okay, we need this. Actually, we are gonna use the same hand, right? Yeah, we're gonna just use this. Will be simpler. So it's left and left. All right. As we start here in the beginning, we got the Alt T. We don't need this. Okay, there we go. Control T. Let's make this here. All right, so we start with this keyframe here. Gonna Control C already a keyframe here, but no, let's use this starting position here. In spite of some oddity, but let's skip it. Okay, then got that. Here would be good to make a break of the joint. This hand will be hard to manage. The fingers are not very expressive here. Yeah, maybe something like this. Already from here, let's try to, yeah, get this hand in a defensive pose like that. And so it will make more sense to... Ah, this is the breakdown. Yeah, so R breakdown. Okay. I like that there would be some way to, that is moving hold, have more options for these colors. They are not very clear at all for me, but okay. Okay, so this we deal with later. But I need to solve this one. Yeah, we're gonna change everything here. Like, she's a ninja. She has special moves that nobody understands. Like the old Japanese stuff, like tokusatsu, the stories, right? Again, gonna Control C, up, Control V, all right. But now we need to break down this thing, so we're gonna just delete this. No, delete. Okay, I don't understand why it is not. Let's just... Then for some reason this hasn't copied. Control C, Control V, right? I need to do the same with this, so apparently the breakdown has a different interaction. Okay, anyways, Control C, Control V. I'm gonna very close to the end. Doesn't matter if it doesn't match. Here we can have some... No, it's too close here, so just let's do this. It's like a very fast motion, right? So let's also like a dash thing. Let's change this. Yes, this will mimic some effect. All right, this is the camera. There's some camera motion. Okay, let's continue here. So here's the... This is where I need the other hand as a reference for the... Yeah, I already have there, so here we're gonna reset this. Let's also reset. We have a big problem here. No, it's just, it's already there. Fine. It's just like that. So here we need to find how to stretch this. This arm. This one might not be so stretched actually. It could do something more crazy. Yeah. Maybe it needs to be on. Yeah, why not something like that? Yeah, this is interesting. And if it's just like that, we might be missing some keyframe, but this is where we're gonna immediately here gonna change. Let's see what was the continuation. Okay, I see. It's like she's pushing the air. That means that we probably need, yeah, we're gonna make an extra keyframe just for this hand here. Yeah, there will be these glitches, but we don't care. So we want this, and then here is where okay, I'm gonna need more time for these ones. Yeah, just no, not the right hand. Okay, more time. Okay, this is getting annoying. So this is why we need to make space and time with by swapping this in. So not gonna disassemble the keyframes. I have desynchronized effects, but for, so this will be the ideal for me, like, because in 2D it's very hard to do this without with the calculations, but the 2D softwares in 2D traditional, right? But in 3D, the 3D software does everything except that it's very hard to find the keyframes right after and to organize. But if you can do this desynchronization stuff, that is the big thing, right? That will be the, unfortunately it's very hard to work with that, but that will be the, like, the ultimate thing to do, it to make everything not synchronized. That will be like, because it's like the body works. If you have studied animation or the motion of the, right, stuff doesn't move like in sync, like, or maybe instead there are specific synchronizations of stuff which are very complex. We can simplify that, that's what animators do, right? But it's very tricky in the beginning especially. Okay, so why do you have this thing? We don't want this keyframe here. So she's gonna... Yeah, now folks, now I'm feeling like I'm making 3D animation. Because you see, this hand, yeah, now we resync stuff, the keyframes, right? But we have this synced that some parts of them, right here, these are unique to, yeah, these are unique to the hand. Now it goes back, okay. Maybe you should desync that as well, so, yeah. Make this much faster motion, actually. Yeah. Here we could also... I don't know if that would work, but... No, no, it doesn't work like that. So it's the ease thing here. Maybe... Yeah, I don't know. It's not like that. So here just gonna... why is this here, by the way? Maybe I've messed up. Let's go back here. Yeah, I think I messed up. Yeah, let's push this here. All right. That should be enough, but we'll see. It's too fast to have just to expand the timeline, right? The frame range at this point. Here is very messy. I don't know what's supposed to happen. We're gonna... Okay, the hand goes back to balance. All right, so from here, this slap here, the hands go back. It's a good pose, but this is just an in-between pose, so it's not... But I prefer it than... Yeah, no, we're gonna just delete this. Okay, we're gonna bring this, then here. Okay, so here we're gonna... We need to repose this one. Let's see. So now I have some questions because... Yeah, so I think we're gonna try... We need to remake this part. It's okay that she does this, but... Yeah, basically she needs to bring back the... Oh, this is the anticipation already. This is very bad because... Yeah, so... I don't want it to make too repetitive, so we're gonna try to do something different here. Yeah, and here I cannot escape in principle. It probably needs to be here, but I can still move this whole block. Yeah, of course you can desynchronize extremes too. It's possible, fairly possible, but it's too complicated in 3D. I don't want that right now, also because we'll have... Okay, and this hand, okay, we have... This keyframe is probably an in-between, but we're gonna delete. We're gonna... This is wrong. Oops, delete the one that was good, apparently. Oh no, it's the hand. Okay, hand left. Okay, let's bring this hand here, actually. Let's stretch. And here we need to bring it back. Here I don't know what. Probably here, because I'm not sure, I just want to copy the previous one. And manipulate it from here, whichever is better. Maybe this one is better. Let's see what the... Yeah, this works, okay. And here, of course, yeah, it's like she's probably trying to rotate. Okay, that might work. All right. Pivot. But now the fit, now there's serious correction, and that will be like the essentially the most interesting part, of course, but leave for the best. So we're gonna keep the hands here and not this, and we need just the hands, and now this fit with this, and we're gonna make this a new key fit just to assign this. All right. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so there's this idea of in the end we'll see what we do with the torso, because the controllers are confusing me. But essentially, you see, we got what we got some stuff, but there are too many motion here that are weird, so we need to make this. It was better before. Okay, so I need to try to fix this part here. Okay, foot is on the ground, and the knee is, there's the breaking of the knee, right? So we're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna go in this direction, but maybe here we're gonna try also this. All right. And of course this means that we need also to copy paste this. So I need this keyframe here. No, this is wrong. Of course, this is the Control C, Control V. No, Control C, Control V, right? Yeah, I don't really like this. Let's make a something. Maybe need here too. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, this is a bit weird. Let's re-bring this. It's probably not a solution here for this. I need to think. Yeah, like reducing the amount of exaggeration that I've made. Maybe that can compensate. Yeah, and this slight tilting. Yeah, so it's very fast. So I think that's okay. Now we have to. Oh, this has already had problems with this freaking thing. We need I need to reset this start to reset as soon as it start to move up. So gonna keyframe this foot here. We're gonna, I don't remember these controls. We want to make it leave the ground. This is very complicated without knowing the controls that the rig can do. So let's, yeah, maybe this works. Yeah, no, this doesn't work, of course. That's why we have the need for... Oh, now this is worse. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I need that. It's very peculiar. We need the... We need this thing here, and let's also pick this thing. Yeah, also, this is fundamental, apparently, so we're gonna assign this thing to, right? So let's see, this will be much simpler. I don't know what the mess that I've worked with that. Okay, it's not changing here. Well, delete this keyframe. Delete this keyframe, okay. We need to immediately start to, well, maybe not that immediately, but we need something like this. Let's delete this. Let's reset here already and delete. And what is this keyframe here? Why did I... Yeah, there's no need for this keyframe. Yeah, so that's all reset. So it's just for the beginning, right? So it's... And now it is reset. So this is all I need for this madness thing. Countering animation, like it's the worst thing. One of the worst things, right? So we're gonna make it... Yeah, I just need that. Okay, the rest is the foot, so I really don't need these keyframes anymore now. And now we can continue. And here, already start pivoting. Um, oh yeah, Control T, sure. Okay, we have a problem with this foot here. Something wrong about this foot. This keyframe, of course, is wrong. Yes, of course, this don't need these keyframes. I've keyframed wrongly, I guess, in the wrong spot. So here we got, yeah, maybe this is why I need this keyframe here. And I place it wrongly again. Then this keyframe here is yeah, it's like I need some tweaking for stretching, otherwise the foot is going crazy in spite of whatever is happening here. We're gonna do one by one, right? So this is horrible. And I see that the torso is not really moving. It's not the... No, this is too bad. Yeah, I think I'll just use this heel roll for now. We'll try to see if we can hold the foot. No, not this one. Because I want to stretch the foot, but if I do that, then the foot goes crazy, right? And this is already being reset. Maybe it's resetting too fast, right? So let's do actually something else here. I'm gonna Shift D here. We're gonna extend its thing here, and we're gonna delete this foot and delete this foot. I think there's another keyframe here messing up everything. There's this channel here. Gonna delete this. This is for later. I don't know what is this. Yeah, just suspecting there might be something wrong here. No. So the leg is pushing into the ground. This is because of the Apparently there should be some... Yeah, there's... It's this keyframe apparently. Very odd. Yeah, this is because of the root bone. Oh yeah, so this is why... A stupid mistake. Yeah, the leverage of the whole body should be made after the torso have left the foot. Like we can animate the torso. Yeah, so this is very sad now because I think I know how to animate this thing but I've manipulated the torso here. If I change the torso now, it will affect everything of the jump. Very dangerous. This is why one of the reasons why starting to learn animation by 3D animation is so stupid. Like, well, look at this waste of time. So it's good to... Alright, so we need to reset the... Just because there was one stupid bone that never works, which is the root bone. Right, guess here's reset, right? Yeah, here's reset. So I don't even know how, yeah, if I can solve this. Okay, maybe I need to accelerate this motion. And that's it, yeah. Pose one by one, that will be very nightmarish, but it's not even the motion that I wanted, but yeah, we can probably exaggerate some stuff here. Let's do some manual stretch here. This thing is weird when it rotates, so I don't know. This is not the pose that I intended, but maybe we can... Yeah, maybe it works. Yeah, probably it works. Yeah, this is good, but it's a different idea. We'll have to find some way to... Let's see what happens. Okay, there's a lot of things we can rework here. So this is not the anticipation yet, so she does that. Alright, so I see. There's this idea we can get this, and I think we can do this now. No, not this one, so let's overlap here, bring this back. Okay, maybe we can extend this a little more before. Now this is wrong. We need some more. Yeah, okay, I got the idea. So basically this leg needs to go here. Here it needs to... Like we want to get it here somewhat. But of course then this is wrong. We're gonna delete this keyframe and this keyframe. And there's more things wrong here. Let's see. Foot key, foot thigh, okay. Okay, here. So we need to rework on these ones. Okay, so this is very tough right now. But the idea is simple. It's just like that, yeah. And of course then after it starts to interfere with the vision. Very weird. Okay, let's... There is something here that's not working. We need to... Yeah, we need to do this breakdown here. Maybe here. Closer to the beginning. Yeah. What is this thing? It's probably wrong. Yes, so now we start to have something. Of course, this is completely inadequate. Let's try to rework on this one here. Maybe this one is, yeah, I'm still struggling with this pose here. Maybe not so, just slightly relaxed. Yeah, so you see multiple timings for preparation of stuff, and that is the, all right, again, soundtrack. It's this garbage of YouTube. All right, the leg here, the right leg, still have some problems here of the pose. This goes too fast, so maybe we need some breakdown here again. Here is, we need to smooth out some. Probably here the problem is that this bone is not following the foot, right? So yeah, now it's makes very little difference. And here we can expand the, okay, after we got the kick anyways, we have the maximum extension apparently, and then there's a hold of this foot because we need to start to do a lot of stuff here. Yeah, if that went behind, so we push this like here. And as she starts to fall, we can and then that foot, oh, you haven't messed with that foot yet, the last one. Yeah, she's walking the air literally. That's kind of interesting, but it's not totally what. Yeah, so now I've ended up with a very different, quite different action and much more powerful actually because of the extreme. But now I still need to edit this stuff. So here at least we don't have this garbage of the pivot there. I hope not. Okay, so here I have already a motion there that works. Little part here where the foot slaps back. Okay, this is fine. I think we don't do anything here, though it will be nice to check if everything is correct. Let's move this down and foot left down and bring that down again. Okay, this is more organized. Okay, so there's a special motion of the foot. We can delete this one. Also delete this one. I don't know why you have these multiple keyframes here. probably something that I've done manually. Yeah, that works. That's what's matter, because not enough frames here to interpolate. So there's here. Now we'll just stick with that. Seems to be working. Then as for this part, maybe do something here to, yeah, to reinforce some. Okay, so here gonna okay, just to have this, okay, then we can start to check some stretching effect of the leg. Yeah. This foot there on the other side seems broken. We can try to do something about this right now. Yeah, okay. The motion doesn't seem to flow properly. This doesn't look any good. Okay, let's do this. Or let's try to it's very fast anyway, so it's not like, yeah, this is actually interesting. Like we're gonna okay, so there's a lot of problem with this, but we can, it's doable. This is very messed up, unfortunately. It's too fast. It's probably this keyframe here. We need to delete perhaps this one. Okay, this is better, right? So maybe here we could this stretching. Okay, we do this. That goes there. Okay, this is a good sort of a breakdown. All right. Okay, let's leave that foot, whatever. Just spotted as strange. And just to finish off this foot, we're gonna do a more tilting here. Breaking of the joint, but it takes too long, right? So we need to interpolate this towards the here. No, bad. Maybe towards the end. Still not good. So this keyframe is just too bad. We need to find somewhere else for, yeah, because this needs to stretch, and then maybe I just need to push this here, and this try to not do this in this way. It's too choppy because it's yeah, it's this time rate here is probably, here you have to work more with this at some point, find some. It's all because of this crazy. Well, there are many things, many problems there. The problem, I think, is the root bone already, so it's good when it gets away from the floor anyways, but okay, let's return to the main foot here of the kick, and this would be okay. So it flips back, that slips back, then now you see something that works. Okay, this may be too broken, but that might work. Then the foot, okay, this seems to be working. We already made this, right? Or maybe not. Here we might have to fix some. Yeah, here we have some limitations, but that's fine. Of the skinning. Here, very important. I'm gonna, because I've made change to the torso, gonna time for some very, yeah, I need to exaggerate here, but there's maybe this is work for the tweak. I hope there's some tweak leg right. No, it's left tweak. Oh yeah, so I haven't used this, so unfortunately this let's see. It's just this one, so where is this one? Numpad period. There's no keyframe to navigate with. Okay, so Shift A. Okay. Where is this one? What's this name? Shin. Okay, it doesn't have a keyframe at all. Okay, just make a keyframe in the. Okay, let's do in the beginning. Then we, as we got here, we're just gonna. Yeah, right before we're gonna. Here already have some problems with skinning, so. But can it solve it? Yeah, not very badly. Let's just skip for this part. So insert a keyframe here. Shift D already for the end. This is just here. We're gonna do this, and there we go. Maybe a little more. Bring this back a little, okay. And this. Yeah, so I've still gotta get familiar with this. Alright, so here the kick already set. So okay, this is just what we need here. Let's hide this bone, okay. And okay, anticipation and the kick. So here it is. And this is where we can exaggerate. And then we could use this, but that's too bad. Let's insert a keyframe here for this garbage. I call it garbage because it exists in all rigs. It's always the same story. It's horrible, but it's horrible to animate. Reset. It's like it drives me mad. Like it's because I'm a rigger too, so I know. Oh, I found this great rig solution, very ingenious, and then it turns out for animation, 3D animation, it's pure garbage. Like it works, but it has with caveats. Like so, this like is very. It's a terrible thing, like to animate this thing. That's why I don't even use this like the advanced foot rig with side rolls, because it's more stuff keyframes for like these two keyframes. So I just, if I could, I wouldn't even have this side roll thing, this main roll here. I'm even considering not having this one and just having this one because of the ankle, that part, right? Why should that be useful if you can just do this, right? Well, maybe this is special because of the I key. Yeah, so maybe that's okay. I still have to visualize, but okay, we can use it for some stuff, right? Because it leveraged the leg, right? All right, so here we got this, but we need to relax already, and this is going back here. We can relax this in many ways. And here, this is where we can already start to drop her leg. Yeah. Also, this thing we could also, yeah. Now it's here that I wanted to check. All right, push this a little more, and here reset the version for the rotation. Yeah, maybe a little roll here. Yeah, so my friends, I think that mostly conclude. Maybe it's not finished yet because there'll be the camera. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, and we can expand some keyframes, right? We can exaggerate a little here. I like this. Yeah, like she's... Yeah, we could have more stuff. This is kind of funny, right? Let's see. It's too fast, but... Let's see from... Yeah, let's also... We can also see with some... That, but I have some glitch in the... you can see in some... Because I've created this in another... Yeah, so there's some parts we need to create some more stuff, but this is already original animation. There we go. And there's camera thing. I don't think we can do anything good with this right now. Yeah, I've done this for too long, so probably change so much things here that little will matter here in this camera. Yeah, there's the camera will have to... I have a camera bone here also, so you can see the motion path of the camera, but it's still not easy to make. I think we got essentially, I'm gonna fix the keyframes and there are little things. Yeah, there are always, if you check, there will always be probably something to perfect in 3D art. It is very hard. For me, I am sort of new to 3D art, but it's like even more than drawing. Like in 3D arts, like there's no perfection in 3D art usually. If you're doing organic stuff, because like there is. So there are a lot of stuff going on, and of course the animation terminates here. So whatever is here, probably there are some keyframes at the before here that maybe it will not be wise to delete them, for me to delete them right now, because maybe it's the last one that maybe they are not rightly posed. So I'm just going to do the thing that we can do in Blender, which is we can have let's see what we can do with this. I love these stylized things here. Effect that we can have. Yeah, of course the texture here. Of course it's a little poor, but we can do some interesting stuff here. Let's see, cavity. Okay, didn't change too much, so I'm gonna use here I don't like that is too fast, so just I'm gonna cheat here. Yeah, we're gonna make a custom here. Let's try some 18. Yeah, 18 is it's like great, right? And so the idea of the camera will be to have something like this, so, the perfect camera motion for this is kind of hard, but there's still things about the body when she falls that are remixing in some weird ways. It's very fast, so I don't really care, but there's, yeah, it's actually it's adequate because of the impact, gives some jiggle and crazy stuff, but it's a bit messy actually in terms of keyframing. So it's the torso rig that I wasn't familiar. It's very hard to I couldn't find it. I didn't find it easy. Fortunately, I did the hands already, the fingers, so I don't want to mess up with this too much. So I think this is the idea. I'm not even test any other because it was too slow. 18, it's very good for usually for this kind of stylish animation. So it's not here. I'm gonna make a viewport render animation for that. You can't see, but it's rendering and it saved the file, and so this is what matters here. And so we're gonna, but yeah, the idea will be to start reworking on here. Let's see if I can find the file here, where it is. Portfolio. There's this. My takes Akali. No, it's not this one. Well, I don't know where it was saved. Oh, it doesn't have a proper. Okay, I have to revise these things. No, this is not the right place. Okay, we need to find a. It's here. Okay, it can't be this, I don't care. And then we're gonna do this again. Yeah, it's MPEG, so it's no keyframe, so it will pick this maybe a little too small. Let's augment here. It's always difficult to see, so this will override, so it's playing the animation in. Oh, it says her head is offset. Okay, we'll have to do this. Let me show how that is doing here. Viewport render animation here. Yeah, still clipping a little. Let's try this. Okay, this is the good one. And so if I check here, we get this one. Oh, this is back to 24. Yeah, on ones. Really stupid. Okay, this is like the default thing, right? But I'm gonna save here because this is the file, but I'm gonna go back to the custom. This is the good one for just for now to remember what I really want for this. Yeah. It will be faster, but it will have to I have to manage to fix some stuff. You see some details on the foot on the ground. You don't even see much problem there. You see, it's really not the focus. Yeah, the resolution is very bad here, but it's just a very easy render to do. There are many interesting things here. So this is what happens when you start to go into details of the human body without not caring too much about the realism is like there's no realism here. It's just it looks, some things might look real, but really this kind of flying kick is or jump kick is not very real. But all the principles are here in one way or another. Some are were disrupted a little, but yeah, you get your ideas, your imagination is try to build stuff, right? There's you start to get some freedom at some point, or even in the beginning, to be fair, because animation is very interesting. Like when I was a kid, I was already doing. I never studied animation. I just started to draw flip books because I saw in a video game, computer PC game, there's a flip book in the instructions manual, and there's some guys exploded all FPS, old FPS games, and then you can do this. I didn't know what was called, so I started to do this with with flip books, right? The flip books. I started to do the flip books in the school books, but those very simple drawings, right? Just like this, the organic palitos, the stick figures. Yeah, the name was palitos, right? So you get these guys here, and then you draw very fast, and you can have very easy effects here with stretch and squash. It was all there, right? Already. Never studied animation. Of course, new animation, motion, right? The kids know animation. Some kids can know, like they just have a good sense for the motion, the choreography, everything, theater, whatever, animation, cinema, motion, acting, and they get the, or sport, I don't know, they get the, and you get everything. Then you start to learn the professional techniques. Then it's like relearning animation, but it's not if you already know by kid, right? But or even adult, maybe they animate and they don't know they are an animator. So sometimes that's happen, right? It's a feeling for the animation, right? You just have it and you may not be sure, right? You never animated, you don't know if you have good sense for animation. And then you turns out that the teachers, at least some that I had, were very arrogant because they only think about the professional techniques, and then you struggle a lot to learn to adapt to the professional realm of techniques, which are more advanced, of course. But then you start to forget that you already know timing, you already know anime, you know everything already. The essence, you just don't know how to apply them to the techniques, and then the teachers they are stupid, they don't or arrogant, they don't understand that their students already know animations by in spirit, but they just need Oh, how do you use this technique? Oh, it's how do you use this? No, it's one step more than that. How do I use this technique with what I come with already in my artistic background of feeling of animation, right? That's the, and actually this applies to everyone because everyone has their style, let's say, or a style that is in development. So that's why the pure technique is garbage. You need the make the composition right, and this sometimes takes time, and it can take even more time when you learn and you learn by subtracting your talent, your originals, what you know, right? So it's not very good because you fix something and you create another problem. Right, and I have to go back to fix the other, of course. Then once you go back and forth and fixing all the cycle, you start to recycle, and then finally you become a really good animator. This happens with many techniques, but it's not about, this is a teaching problem, right? It's not, it's because of the way we teach in school. It's garbage, right? There's a lot of misconceptions. It's not organic. Right, it's not organic enough. There's not enough study of, there's just stupidity, right? Just is the imperialism mindset, colonialism. It's like the European garbage, right? Not that doesn't exist in other cultures, of course, but traditional culture. But there's this Occidental tradition, very stupid, very. There's very important educational studies that. For decades, for centuries, have been targeting on critic on why those methods don't really work very. They are garbage, basically. But they have their good stuff, of course. But okay, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the excessive stuff. So here is the Akali thing, which is not 100%, but it's like at least 95% achieved. And that's it. See you another time for more animation stuff and maybe some rigging. For now, this I have to offer for 3D animation, right? See ya, folks, and have a nice week and happy blendering.